Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, The Gentleman Reviewer. So this week I've got some reviews that will probably be a little bit shorter than some of my other videos. I mean, those ones are upwards of 15 minutes long. But today I'm just going to be talking about the iBayam grid journal that I've been using for the last couple of weeks. That's this guy right here. The last journal that I reviewed was this guy, the Jarbo grid journal. And I kind of liked it. There were some things that I didn't really like about it, but you can search back my video if you're interested in checking it out. So I had been using the Jarbo one for a while, and at work I was looking for something that I could use to keep up on work. Basically, I was getting behind on some of the things. I was writing stuff down in my day timer, which I actually have over here. The 1 week or 2 page per 1 week. Let me show you what that looks like. Get to one that I don't have any writing in. So you're not really going to be able to see too well, but it's basically like that. And well, that's normally fine. I have been writing down under the 5 o'clock line because I end my day at 5. And I've been keeping my task list there and just moving it along each day. So it was nice because then I could see what I needed to do for the rest of the week. It would just get really cluttered. I'd find myself forgetting to do things, and it just wasn't working out very well. And then I'd been using sort of like a bullet journal setup for this blog, so I could keep track of what I had to review, what I had reviewed already, or what I needed to review still. And then I decided to give that a shot with work. And then I found that within the first week, I was already caught up, and I've been caught up ever since then. But I bought a separate journal for that, so I wasn't kind of intermixing the two. Didn't have work stuff in my personal journal. I work in the human services field, so everything that I have is protected by HIPAA and Occupational Behavioral Health Board. So pretty strict, so I wanted to keep it separate. So I was looking around on Amazon, came across this iBayam grid journal, and my first impression right out of the box was I liked the cover just a lot more than my Jarbo. It's a faux leather and it's kind of soft. I don't know if you can see, but it's soft enough that the elastic enclosure has actually created an indent there in the shape of it. So another thing that I liked right off the bat was I still wasn't super familiar with Paperweight, but I found out that this is 120 GSM or 120 grams per square meter in weight. And for those of you who aren't familiar, that means if you have a square meter of this paper, it's going to weigh 120 grams. The Jarbo journal, I found out you can buy 120 GSM, but I had actually bought 60, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's 60. So it was just thin. I had a lot of ghosting, and I didn't like it too much. And I'll get to how this paper handles with a variety of pens here in a little bit. But I started using this. I liked it. The paper was smooth. It felt good. It felt good with a variety of the pens that I was using. I tend to just pick a random one for the day and just go with it. And it felt good with a variety of them. Almost all of them, really. So that's kind of what my first impressions were. So to get into a little bit about this journal in particular, it's your standard A5, 8.25 by 5 inches. It's got the rounded corners, so you got a lot of less wear as you're going through. You know, I carry it in my backpack. I pull it out quite a bit. I throw it in my console for my car. I even carried it in a coat pocket, like one of the pen pockets. It'll fit in there. So it's got, like I said, 120 GSM paper, and then it's acid free. So you're not gonna get, I don't know what the acid free exactly does. I think it'll hold up better over time as far as the writing goes. So I got the dot grid. That's become my favorite lately, but it is also available with ruled paper and in 70 GSM. This one has 64 sheets or 124 pages. Like I already said, it's got an elastic enclosure. It's also got a pocket at the very, very back, which I store business cards in. And then a ribbon bookmark. It only has one, so if you're one of those people that likes 2 or 3 on your notebooks, then you're definitely going to want to choose something else. Or just use a different bookmark for it. So let's get into, I already wrote with a variety of my pens here, and you can see I chose the name I wrote the name and the type of ink that I was using. If I was using a fountain pen, for example, up here, or a roller ball. Here's all my zebras right here. I've got quite a few of those. A couple morning glories, a stabilo, more roller balls here, even some gel pens. I did even include like the Bic crystals and the Bic round sticks, mostly because I had them around and because the Bic crystals do write pretty well and they're fairly common pens. The Fisher Space Pen obviously handled well. It did railroad a little bit, but that's more because I'm using the medium tip than anything else. So, and then I even did some mechanical pencils. So I've got the Pentel ink, or Pentel lead, Rotring lead. I don't know what's in the Mitsubishi malt that I have, but that's a pretty nifty pencil that I'll be reviewing here in a bit. It's made of whiskey barrel wood, actually, so it's pretty cool. Kuru Toga lead. I can't find my words today. I keep wanting to say ink. But the Kuru Toga, it's softer on the outside and harder on the inside. One, because it's spinning, so it wears down into more of a point and keeps that sharp point as you're writing. So I want to try that. And then also a dip pen. So I did quite a bit of different pens. I hope I did a very thorough job on this. I even got a highlighter in there. That's the Zebra H301. The PM701 is Zebra's permanent marker. I was able to get the full steel line before I did this review. And so if we flip over to the other side, I mean, you can see very little see-through at all. I've got a couple, when I do like fountain pen reviews and stuff, I'll use this paper just for comparison, and I try to keep it near the back. The only ones you can, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but you can kind of see the highlighter coming through. Permanent marker, obviously, but that's a really, really thick felt tip. So that's obviously going to bleed through. I also had just I don't even know what brand it is. I think I got some permanent markers from Target a long time ago. That's what that one is. The dip pen bled through a little bit. But beyond that, I mean, unless you've got the paper where it's not sitting, or where it's standing up and not laying back against it, I mean, you can kind of see some ghosting with those, which are the Stabilos, but those are very wet writers. Those are some roller balls that I haven't been a huge fan of just because they write so wet. I think the roller ball, or the Retro 1951, was kind of ghosting a little bit more. I don't know how well you can see it on the videos, but I mean, it's definitely a lot less than the Jarbo. So this is some really good paper. I don't know how it compares yet to like a Rhodia, a Moleskine, or a Leuchtturm, but I'll be getting some of those eventually just so I can have some good, solid comparisons to compare these journals to. But other than that, like I said, it handled just about all the pens well. The markers were the ones that bled through the most, and the dip pen. But the Sharpie pens, those are the only, like the small felt tip pens that I have. Those ones didn't bleed through. And just as a side note, a little bit of an interesting thing about the company. So when I first bought this journal, I was actually kind of impressed to see that it came with a lifetime guarantee, which I thought was a little weird for a journal. And then if you read it longer, or read it farther along, it says that it's only good for 90 days. So I think it's a little weird wording on the company's part. But to wrap up here, under the 10-minute mark finally, I mean, for a $9 journal, you're definitely not going to get anything better. I mean, it's only $9 on Amazon right now. I actually got it for about $7.50, so the price has gone up a little bit in the last 2 months. But for $9, if you don't want to spend $20 on a Moleskine, Leuchtturm, or Rhodia journal, like you're not that into stationery yet, I think it's a very solid buy, especially if you get the one with 120 GSM paper. I've definitely liked it a lot. As a last note that I forgot to mention, I mentioned in my Jarbo review that the cover warped. This one has actually not warped yet. I don't know if it just came rounded with my Jarbo, but this one stayed flat, which means it's not rocking as I'm writing, which is kind of annoying with my other journal. So that's all I've got for you guys. Please comment below with your thoughts, and as always, please like the video and subscribe, and hit the little bell button if you want to get notified when I post a review. Hope you like this one. Thanks again, guys.